Roger Vernon Smith is a retired banker, founder of the Silicon Valley Bank. Perhaps not someone you might associate with a life in the nonprofit world. But upon retirement, that's what he became. He has chosen to devote his encore career to two causes. Palo Alto Parks, which has included the creation of Heritage Park, Lytton Plaza, and the Magical Bridge in Mitchell Park. His other focus, which prompted this award nomination, is the families of murder victims. He created MAM, for Mothers Against Murder, and is the sole financial backer of the organization.
So the first case was called the May case in San Mateo. A man had gone to counseling with his wife. He got upset, or his estranged wife, and left and said, "I'm out of here." And the wife stayed, and about half an hour later, she left. The counselor and his wife across the hall heard screaming. They found the man had stabbed his wife like 10 or 12 times. They caught him in the elevator, and he had murdered his wife. And that was our first case that I took a look at.
Wow. And what was your takeaway, and what did you do for that?
Well, being an absolute rookie to this, I just went to the first day of the court. And what struck me was there must have been 25 to 30 people of the wife's family that were there. Now, these people all took off from work to come to this trial, many of them from the East Bay. The thing that really broke my heart, the judge said, "Is this case number 99664321? And the clerk said, no, Judge, it's 99647, whatever." There was no customer service. No, is this the May case? The next thing that happened shocked me to death, because the DA said, "Judge, as we have informed you, that the defense attorney and I have agreed that we'll continue this case for 90 days. The judge says, effectively, "That's good, next case." So here were 30 people, took off from work, knowing that justice would be served. Nothing happened. And no one had called them to say, nothing's happening. The real heartbreaker here is people think justice is going to be served. And in this particular case, unlike some murders, you don't know who did it or did they do it. This was very evident who did it. So we work with the families to help them with the process. One of the bigger things that we do is help them get compensation. There's a state compensation for murder victims, including burial. And so we make sure they get that. And then we, if you will, hold their hand through the court process and try to reduce the suffering, which is hard to do, but try to make it easier on the family.
So you really are navigators.
Navigators is a good one. Guides, navigators, hand holders.
What are the things that people don't know that are services, for example, that you
Well,
help
first of
navigate?
all, there's no school that you go to that's saying this is what you should do if there's a murder, because it comes as a shock to everyone. The law says the police are supposed to give you a pamphlet saying there are people that will help you. Each county has a victim assistance program. So first of all, most of the time, the police are looking to figure out what happened. They're not real concerned about making sure that families know what to do. I would say the majority of the cases are poorer people that get murdered. So one of the things there is just the shock. Let's say a woman's husband, she has 3 children, gets killed. How does she make the rent payment next week? And how do you bury the people? And it's like anything. If someone kills somebody, the accused is the most important person, and he gets a court-appointed attorney or can hire his own attorney. But the family truly has no one. They're left alone. And so the system, in my mind, breaks down from that point forward.
Put me in the shoes of some of these families and tell me more about the kinds of things that I probably never thought about before, what it's like.
Well, first of all, the enormous shock is the biggest thing. Just the total unknown about it. And for instance, in the Hispanic family, funerals are very important. But sometimes we've had cases where the system doesn't give the people the compensation and they've had to cremate someone. The other thing, there's a bunch of games that happens in this process. One game is the funeral homes know you have to bury the person, obviously, because they've been murdered. So some of the people charge way too much.
Is there something about losing someone to murder that is different from losing somebody to an accident? I mean, if I am the family member, in how it affects me, is there something that is singular about murder?
Well, I think the biggest thing is the intent. Somebody took a family member's life. Now, in an accident, it could be, but this is a deliberate act of violence on someone. So there again is the why. And so many of these, there's no why. The hurt there is, and that's even greater when the suspect is not known or found yet, because then there is also the fear. And those are unusual cases. The things that's frustrating to us are when the murderer is known and is captive, why doesn't the system get it done? The problem with the system, like everything in life, it's just another murder. And we have a little saying, a murder is not just another crime. And the other thing that's extremely frustrating to me is the numbers. There's about 15,000 murders every year in America, about 1,700 in California, somewhere around 300 to 400 in the Bay Area. Compare that to the number of Bay Area people got killed in the Iraq War.
Which is what?
10 maybe?
This does sound to me very different from banking. Yeah. Are there any similarities?
Well, yes, there are. I think one of our goals when we started Silicon Valley Bank was to take the BS out of banking, and we tried to make it a smoother process for people. But the basic thing is that we made the process smooth, fast. We have to reduce, we never get rid of, reduce the number of murders, but reduce the time of suffering. It's very, very, I wish I could do more, but we are making a difference. Sometimes I feel, and I wish we could make a bigger difference.
Do you know someone who has overcome significant hardship and has an inspiring story to tell? Someone who has sacrificed or given over and above to the community and deserves some recognition? If so, please contact us with your nomination for next year's Local Hero Awards. To find out more about our local heroes and to watch interviews with all the winners, visit our website, midpennmedia.org. At the Mid-Peninsula Community Media Center, you can make your own videos and television programs and take classes in all aspects of media production. You can also hire our professional services team. To find out more about that, go to mcproservices.com. Congratulations to all our winners, and thank you for watching.